Hi. Hey guys, what's up? My name is Dom. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, I typically make bookish content, movie content, and anything else in between because I like to do whatever I want on this channel, and tonight is going to be movie content. For today's video, we're going to go over the 31 movies I watched during the Halloween season. Every season, I try to watch 31 new to me spooky movies, whether they're horror, thriller, or Halloween themed, some of the stuff that the whole family can enjoy. This is the second year I've achieved this goal. The first year was actually last year, and I made a similar video, which I'll link up above. What this video is going to entail, I'm going to say the name of the movie, the year it came out, give you guys a brief synopsis, and also give a very brief review because I want to keep this video kind of short in style. I'll release another video where I go more in depth with how I feel about these films. You can actually watch two of them, my August and September wrap up, because to be transparent with you guys, the Halloween season for me is from August 1st to October 31st. Trying to watch 31 movies in a singular month is just not feasible for me, so I have those 2 extra months to kind of spread it out a bit, and that was very much needed this year because the last movie was watched on the last day of the season. But I think that's all I have to say for this introduction, so without further ado, let's jump right into the video. The first movie I watched in the season was 2024's Trap. This is a thriller, and it's about a serial killer who goes to a concert with his daughter, and he's surrounded by police and has to figure out a way to escape. This is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. The trailer seemed really fun. Shyamalan is a hit or miss for me, actually, and this is one of his hits. It's not a cinematic masterpiece by any means, but I did have a lot of fun, and the music goes pretty hard, and I'm pretty sure his daughter wrote the music herself. She did a great job. And my high school crush on Josh Hartnett is still alive and well. I would still risk it all for him at the age of 27. I gave this movie 3 out of 5 stars. Number 2, 2016's The Autopsy of Jane Doe. This movie is about a father and son duo who run a funeral home, and they get this mysterious body who doesn't have a name, hence Jane Doe, and they realize that despite looking dead, she is actually still alive. This movie's a weird one. I commend the third act for being original, and I watched this while I was in Salem, Massachusetts, so it was very fitting for the time. However, it doesn't make up for the issues I had with the first 2 acts. Was I interested in what was happening? Yes, because I was genuinely confused, but at the same time, it was very gimmicky, terrible dialogue with terrible acting, and there were multiple moments in this movie where my friends and I would look at each other and be like, why didn't they just do X, Y, and Z? I gave this movie 2.5 out of 5 stars. Number 3, 1958's The Fly. This is about a scientist running an experiment and it goes wrong. I actually reacted to this movie, so I will link that up above, but this is a simple, fun movie you don't need to think too hard about. It can be hokey at times, but for me personally, that's forgivable just given the time period. There was a genuinely unsettling scene near the end. 4 out of 5 stars. Next is another movie I reacted to, and that is 1960's House of Usher. This is about a man who goes to the House of Usher, home of Roderick and Madeline Usher, who are brother and sister, and he is trying to escape with Madeline, but Roderick Usher is not letting that happen. This is one of those movies that had me at the edge of my seat just because a character like Roderick can go one of 2 ways. Either he's lying and Madeline really does need to be saved, or he's telling the truth. And the way Vincent Price portrays the character, I genuinely didn't know which direction this was gonna go in. And it had a very eerie atmosphere that left me uncomfortable, and I haven't felt that way about a film in a while. This actually made one of my top 10 watches of the year so far. 4.5 out of 5 stars. The 5th movie I watched is 2024's Beetlejuice. This is a sequel to the beloved film from the 80s, and in this movie, Lydia Deetz is trying to repair her relationship with her daughter. Listen, y'all, this movie has a bajillion different narratives going on, and it is very chaotic, and it just felt like Tim Burton was just throwing stuff at us, and I loved every second of it. 4 out of 5 stars. Number 6, 2024's The Front Row. This is about a black woman who is married to a white man, and his extremely racist white grandmother comes to live with them, and she has the soul of Jesus Christ within her body. Do not let the trailer fool you. The trailer makes this out to be a horror film. It is not scary at all. This is more so a drama thriller. So that's disappointing in and of itself, but at the same time, I wasn't disappointed because the absolute absurdity for the rest of the film makes up for it. 3 out of 5 stars. Number 7, 2024's The Deliverance. This is a Netflix original film, and it's about a family that's in turmoil. The mom is an alcoholic, the husband is away at war, and the kids are dealing with that. And they soon discover that they are living in a haunted house. I actually really enjoyed the first quarter of this film, where it was more so a drama than horror. This family they did not have a healthy relationship, but I found it so fascinating to watch, and Andra Day was acting her ass off. But once the horror elements were introduced, I just started hating the movie. The horror is incredibly corny and laughable, and this is allegedly based on a true story, but the way everything was portrayed, that the real person Andra Day is playing swears to God happens, like, it's just so out there that nothing about it feels like it's real. 2 out of 5 stars. Number 8, 2024 Speak No Evil. This is about a family that was on vacation, and they meet another family, and post-vacation, family B invites them to their home, and shit ensues. I had a very hard time with this film. I found the majority of the characters, the adults specifically, to be absolutely insufferable. And it's one of those movies where the first 2 acts are slow burn, and then act 3 is when all the chaos happens. But that slow burn was not at all fun to watch. The last act was when it got chaotic, but it was a struggle getting through the first hour. 2.5 out of 5 stars. Number 9, 1973's The Wicker Man. This is about a policeman who goes to an island in the British Isles to investigate the disappearance of a girl, but everyone on the island is acting like she has never existed. I went into this for something scary, and I got a cute musical instead. 3.5 out of 5 stars. Number 10, 1961, The Pit and the Pendulum. This is about a man who visits a mansion when he finds out his sister has died, and the sister's husband is acting very strange. This is loosely inspired by the story by Edgar Allan Poe, and when I say loosely inspired, I mean it takes place within the same decade, the same technology is involved, but other than that, it's essentially its own story. I actually did react to this. I just have not had time to edit it and get it out there, so that reaction's just gonna come in November. But overall, I thought this movie was just alright. It was still fun with some creepy scenes. I just wish there were more. 3 out of 5 stars. Number 11, 1933's The Invisible Man. This is about a man who goes invisible, and he wants to go on a murder spree. I do not have a lot of thoughts about this film other than I really enjoyed how much of a dick the main character was. 3 out of 5 stars. Number 12, 2024's Salem's Lot. This is about a guy who goes back to his childhood hometown. He realizes that his neighbors are turning into certain creatures of the night. This is based on a Stephen King novel that I have read, and I have not seen the original movie adaptation. I actually forgot why I chose to watch this in the first place. But what a film. Terrible lighting, terrible acting, terrible dialogue, just bad. But it feels like one of those bad made-for-TV movies that you watch with your friends at midnight over a glass of wine and some popcorn and like laugh your ass off watching because it's just so bad that everything about it is funny. And I haven't seen a movie like that in so long, so it felt nostalgic in a really weird way. 2 out of 5 stars. Number 13, 1982's Poltergeist. This is about a family whose house is haunted by an evil ghost and their young daughter disappears. The main reason it has taken me 27 years to see this film is because as a child, for some reason, the concept of this movie absolutely terrified me. But now that I've seen it, I cannot believe this was the movie I was petrified to watch as a kid. 3 out of 5 stars. Number 14, 2022's Barbarian. This is about a woman who goes to an Airbnb in Detroit and something is in the basement. At no point did I ever know where this movie was going. 4 out of 5 stars. Number 15, 2009's Jennifer's Body. This is about a girl who gets possessed by an evil demon and her friend is trying to stop her from going on killing sprees. And I'm not advocating for violence, but I am advocating for the empowerment of women. 3.5 out of 5 stars. 16, 1982's The Thing. This is about a bunch of scientists who are in Antarctica and they find some alien force within their facilities. And y'all, after seeing this movie, we really need to advocate bringing back practical effects because the creature was some of the scariest shit I have ever seen. It still holds up and this movie's like 40 plus years old. 4 out of 5 stars. 17, 1977 Suspiria. This is about a woman who enters a ballet school and she quickly notices that something is not right. I love the colors and the music of this film, but to this day, and I watched this in like mid-October, to this day I still can't tell you how I feel about this movie as a whole. 3.5 out of 5 stars. 18, 2015's Missing Halloween. This is about a little boy who befriends a girl while trick-or-treating. This is actually a short film, and yes, I'm still counting it because a film is a film, but it's less than 10 minutes long, and like the story, the plot itself, the general plot, it has been done before, but there's something about the execution that still makes it feel like a sucker punch to the gut. 4 out of 5 stars. 1964 is The Last Man on Earth. This is about a man who is living in a post-apocalyptic world. He thinks he is literally the last man on Earth, and he becomes a vampire hunter. I thought the first 2 acts of this movie were really strong, but there was something about the end I wasn't a fan of, which is really strange because I actually predicted the ending. I had a feeling it would end the way it did, but it still kind of pissed me off. 2.5 out of 5 stars. Number 20, 2022's The Menu. This is about a group of rich people who go on a remote island and get their meals cooked by a famous chef. This is a fun movie, but it definitely feels overhyped, and I found the message to be incredibly on the nose. 3 out of 5 stars. 21, 2017's The Ritual. This is about a group of men who go on a hiking trip after the death of one of their friends. I don't know what it was about this movie, but I have never become so disinterested in a plot so fast, and I couldn't connect with any of the characters. 2 out of 5 stars. 22, 2024's Woman of the Hour. This is about a woman who enters a game show, and it's a dating show, and nobody realizes that a serial killer is one of the contestants except for his victims. This is actually based on a true story, which I had no idea going into it, so I'm thinking it's just a really well done thriller. But going off of that, I think the execution is great, especially for a debut directorial film by Anna Kendrick. It's not something I expected from her because I'm used to her in comedy roles. But I was very tense. I was trying to figure out what the hell was happening, and I was just super engaged throughout the film. 4 out of 5 stars. 23, 2008's The Telltale Heart. This is a short film. It's a little over 30 minutes long, and it's based on the short story by Edgar Allan Poe. In its short runtime, it captures an incredibly creepy atmosphere, and there's a lack of sound until suddenly there's just too much of it, and I felt like it really captured the essence of the main character losing his mind. 4.5 out of 5 stars. Number 24, 2021's Malignant. This is about a woman who has visions of murders and quickly realizes, thanks to a malignant being, she is actually watching these murders being played out in real time. Someone actually described this film to me as, don't expect a good movie, but possibly expect a good time. And I am inclined to agree, because what the fuck was this? 2.5 out of 5 stars. 25, 2023's El Conde. This is about a vampire named Augusto Pinochet who is ready to die, but his family will not let him. So I went into this because the Oscar previews made the film look really pretty, look really creepy, and I love a good vampire story. However, I also went into this not realizing these characters are actually satirized versions of real people. And once I found out who the real people were and what they've actually done in real life, it was kind of just a big turnoff of this film. And as a whole, I do not think it's an effective satire, and I did get really bored. 2 out of 5 stars. 26, 1992's Bram Stoker's Dracula. We all know what Dracula is about. I cannot believe it has taken me 27 years to see the famous film with Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder. A lot of people love this film, and you know what? I absolutely loved it as well. I love how theatrical it is. Winona Ryder and Gary Oldman put on a hell of a performance. It was so hot. They slayed. We're going to ignore how bad Keanu Reeves was because he was really forgettable. Everyone else, great. Theatrical, campy, loved the set designs, loved everything about this, minus what we're forgetting about. 4 out of 5 stars. 27, 1972's La Cambina, or The Telephone Booth. This is about a man who gets stuck in a telephone booth and nobody can get him out. It's another short film. It's a little over 30 minutes long. Admittedly, I did use this film as a cheat to reach my goal because I was falling behind. And a lot of people advertise it as a good film. And I really like the silent era style of acting, but this might not be the film for me because despite the raving reviews, this film overall did nothing for me. 2.5 out of 5 stars. 28, 1980's The Shining, another movie that took me forever to see, and the second Stephen King adaptation of this year. This is about a family that moves into a hotel and the husband goes batshit insane. This is one of those movies I would consider objectively good. Every actor in this, including Shelley Duvall, because I know she got a lot of hate for this movie when it first came out, did a great job. Like, I really felt Shelley Duvall's fear, and then watching Jack's slow descent into madness was extremely creepy. And again, this is the era of great child stars. The child actor in this does a wonderful job, and he's better than so many child actors I see today. But it's also one of those movies where at the end of the film, I really had to think about what I thought. And I think it's just because the way it ended, I didn't know how I felt about the film overall. But I think I'm content with the ending. So I did give this 4 out of 5 stars. 29, 2000s, Mom's Got a Date with a Vampire. This is about 2 teenagers who want to sneak out of the house when they are grounded. So they set up their mom to go on a date. Unbeknownst to them, they accidentally set her up with a vampire. When watching this movie, I was kind of going through a rough time. I needed something where you didn't need to think too hard about. So my friends recommended this Disney Channel original movie for me because they're like, oh yeah, I loved it when I was a kid. And I somehow just missed it growing up. And because it's a Disney Channel original movie, I wasn't expecting much, but it still managed to be super corny, and the acting was weird, and the lead character was actually low-key unbearable. I don't know if it's a genuinely bad movie or if I just missed the window and therefore don't have that nostalgic factor to it. I did give this 2 out of 5 stars, but at the same time, it is a fun 2 out of 5. Number 30 is a classic, and that is 1948's Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. This movie includes the comedy duo Abbott and Costello, and they are trying to transport merchandise, not realizing one box contains Dracula and the other box contains Frankenstein. This movie was a lot funnier than I was expecting. For me personally, I was worried that the humor of the time wouldn't translate well for me into modern times, but it did. I was laughing out loud. I really loved the acting of Costello specifically. I think I liked his humor more so than Abbott. 4 out of 5 stars. And then finally, the last movie I watched in the Halloween season, on the very last day, I watched this on Halloween Day itself. That is 1987's The Monster Squad. In this movie, the classic creatures are taking over the world and a group of kids have to stop them. To my knowledge, this is a cult classic, and I could see why, because it is extremely low budget. But it's a really, really fun movie, even if it did feel gimmicky at times. And oddly enough, it's clearly inspired by Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. 3.5 out of 5 stars. And there you have it. Those are the 31 new to me movies I watched during the Halloween season. I was really struggling a bit there, but I'm glad I achieved this goal. And I achieved it by having some rewatches in between. So I had a very busy 3 months. I'll link my August and September movie wrap-ups down below so you could see me go into more detail for some of these movies. And the October wrap-up will be coming. But that is all I have to say for this video. So if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the drill. And without further ado, I'm gonna peace out and I'll see you guys later. Ciao, tutti.